saying, and that's what I did today, and I shouldn't have. I should have thought about it a little longer before I said it. But
this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us. Not really making the world a better place.
Right.
You're just allowing these financial institutions to enact control over. But I get people think things are funny because they don't think about the person they're making fun of. You and I are both guilty of doing that.
Of course.
Joe Rogan just called out Whoopi Goldberg in a way no one saw coming. And it wasn't a joke. It wasn't just another headline-grabbing hot take. It was a full-blown teardown of what he called the dangerous game of influence, misinformation, and double standards, one that's been hiding in plain sight. It all started with one bold claim from Whoopi. No proof. Just a statement, said with conviction. And then, everything spiraled. On a regular episode of The View, Whoopi Goldberg looked into the camera and accused Elon Musk of manipulating politics using his billionaire status. She didn't stutter. She didn't offer any sources. And she definitely didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. But within hours, the clip went viral. The internet caught fire. Commentators split into sides. And in the middle of it all, Musk's legal team got to work. Elon Musk doesn't play soft when his name's on the line. Within days, he filed a jaw-dropping $900 million lawsuit against Whoopi Goldberg, accusing her of defamation. Not just a little media misstep, full-blown character assassination. According to the lawsuit, her statements caused immediate damage. Tesla's stock took a hit. Business partners started asking questions. The claim? Her comments weren't just reckless, they were designed to harm. Musk's legal team demanded a full retraction, a public apology, and financial damages. But what came next was something no one had expected, not even Whoopi. When Whoopi showed up in court, she wasn't the confident.
When you're a certain age, you use words that you know from when you were a kid, or you remember.
Us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she's going to hunt you down. He's going to find out what's going on. And that's good. That's good for everybody. That's how you should be looking at this.
And host millions were used to seeing on daytime TV. She was visibly shaken. Eyes red, voice cracking, she broke down in front of the judge. She admitted she never thought her comments would lead to such serious consequences. In a moment of raw vulnerability, she apologized, not for having an opinion, but for the damage her words may have caused. She even said she respected Elon Musk as a businessman, but still stood by her concerns about corporate influence in politics. But that wasn't good enough. Not for Joe Rogan. On a recent episode of his podcast, Rogan lit into the situation with the kind of fire that's made him one of the most listened to voices in the world. He didn't waste time trying to sugarcoat it. According to him, this wasn't about free speech anymore. This was about accountability. He made it crystal clear, when you have a platform that reaches millions, you don't get to throw around serious accusations like confetti. And if you do, you'd better be ready for what comes next. Joe's take. Whoopi wasn't being brave. She wasn't speaking truth to power. She was playing the victim after getting caught. And the emotional breakdown? Too little, too late. Rogan pointed out that this is the same woman who spent years criticizing others, demanding accountability from people across the political and cultural spectrum. But now that the tables had turned, she wasn't holding up under the pressure. And Rogan wasn't just talking about Whoopi.
And it's a really shifty, weird way they're doing it by making it seem like they're trying to make the world a better, more equal place.
You're like, what the
Yeah, he was definitely what the and he was happy that the ADL of all people defended him. Like, wow, we have a brilliant mind that is examining these really corrupt and goofy.
He widened the lens, aiming squarely at the mainstream media. In his words, platforms like The View are no longer about sharing facts. They're about pushing narratives. Pushing emotion. Pushing outrage. It's not about getting to the truth. It's about making sure the story fits a certain angle, even if the facts don't. And when someone like Whoopi goes on national television and makes bold claims without a shred of evidence, the media doesn't push back. They cheer her on. That's what really set Rogan off. Because to him, this wasn't just one offhand comment, it was a symptom of something much bigger. He argued that if a conservative commentator had made a similar accusation against a left-leaning billionaire, the media would have demanded receipts. Immediately. They would have dissected the claim, called it reckless, and smeared the speaker until there was nothing left to debate. But because Whoopi's comments aligned with a broader anti-billionaire, anti-tech narrative that many outlets already promote, they let it slide. Or worse, they doubled down. And that's what made Rogan say what so many people have been thinking. That today's media doesn't punish misinformation, it rewards it, as long as it comes from the right mouth. That someone like Whoopi Goldberg can make serious claims, walk them back, cry in court, and still be praised for being brave. But he didn't stop there. Joe reminded his listeners that this isn't the first time Whoopi's gotten herself into hot water. In fact, this is part of a long pattern. Say something inflammatory, act like it's no big deal, then act surprised when the backlash hits. Then comes the apology, or the excuse. And then, silence. Nothing changes. No lessons learned. No accountability. Just another notch on the controversy belt. That's the cycle Rogan is sick of. And this time, he made it clear, enough is enough. He went even deeper, pointing out how Whoopi's co-hosts tried to spin the moment into something it wasn't. Joy Behar claimed Whoopi's comments were taken out of context. Sunny Hostin argued that Musk's lawsuit was just an intimidation tactic. But Rogan wasn't buying it for a second. He said the original clip wasn't vague. It wasn't said in jest. There was no laughter. It was framed as a serious, factual statement, one that could damage reputations, business relationships, and public perception. And when Whoopi later claimed it was just a joke, Rogan nearly lost it. Because if it was a joke, why the tears in court? Why the emotional apology? Why backpedal at all? According to him, that wasn't the reaction of someone who told a harmless joke. That was the reaction of someone who knew they crossed a line, and were now trying to dodge the consequences. But the consequences weren't going anywhere. Musk's legal team wasn't just bluffing. They were digging deep. Gathering timelines, video clips, press reactions, even stock market data. They were building a case that wasn't just about emotional damage, it was about quantifiable harm. Losses. Reputational smears. And they weren't planning to settle quietly. Rogan predicted that this case, if it goes all the way, could change the game. Not just for Whoopi Goldberg, but for every high-profile figure who thinks a platform gives them immunity. He said, if you've got a mic in front of you and millions listening, you better be damn sure what you're saying is true. Because if it's not, and you ruin someone's name in the process, there should be a price to pay. He even pulled back the curtain on how audiences are often manipulated. On shows like The View, he explained, many audience members are paid. They're coached on when to clap, when to laugh, when to act shocked. It's not a free exchange of ideas, it's a performance. One that shapes public opinion without ever being questioned. And at the center of that performance, in this case, was Whoopi Goldberg, an entertainer turned pundit, protected by a system more interested in views than truth. But for all the fire Rogan brought, his final point was the most chilling. He asked his audience to imagine what would happen if Musk loses. If the courts decide that bold, evidence-free accusations are protected by opinion. What kind of precedent would that set? Could anyone with a platform accuse anyone else of anything, as long as they call it a joke later? Could the truth be erased with a few tears and a flimsy apology? That's the real question. And it's the one no one in mainstream media seems to be asking. Rogan didn't offer an answer.